After Evan and Laura vanished from Kifaru Ridge Camp, authorities acted fast. The Tanzanian police launched an immediate investigation. Rangers combed the plains. Helicopters scanned from above. Drone footage attempted to trace their steps. Even the U.S. Embassy in Dar es Salaam got involved, coordinating with San Diego and Austin authorities. But almost immediately, complications arose. The initial theory was obvious. Evan and Laura had been in the territory of predators. Lions, leopards, hyenas. They had wandered off the designated safari path. But here was the problem. No carcass was ever found. No blood trail existed beyond their backpacks. No torn clothing. No paw prints consistent with a kill. Forensic experts called it highly unusual. A typical predator attack in that region almost always left traces. But here, nothing. It was as if they had vanished into thin air. Almost immediately, rumors spread in Tanzania and internationally. Some believed poachers could have abducted the couple. After all, Kifaru Ridge was known for rhino and elephant poaching. The idea seemed plausible. Poachers sometimes captured humans to scare locals. Or to prevent witnesses to illegal activity. Yet, no ransom demand, no sightings, no proof ever surfaced. It remained just a theory, one that haunted the families for years. A darker rumor circulated among locals. A small gang of poachers was active near the restricted valley. They were said to kill or abduct anyone who stumbled into their territory. Some claimed Joseph Nkosi knew about these poachers but didn't warn tourists. Authorities investigated. No arrests. No charges. No clear evidence. Just whispers. And whispers are hard to prove. From September 2013 to October 2013, over 150 personnel combed the area. Tanzanian police. Park rangers. Helicopters. K-9 units. U.S. Embassy advisors. They searched every inch of the restricted valley, surrounding savanna, and nearby rivers. Every abandoned bush. Every dry riverbed. But after 32 days, nothing more was found. No bodies. No cameras. No indication of what had happened. The case grew colder with each passing day. Back in San Diego and Austin, Evan's parents and Laura's sister faced a nightmare. They had spent every day for weeks on the phone with authorities. They flew to Tanzania hoping for answers. They combed the plains themselves. They met with guides, locals, and officials. But nothing provided closure. Emails, calls, and photos from the trip's preparations became haunting reminders. The couple's friends described anger, grief, and frustration. No one knew who to trust. No one knew if Evan and Laura were alive, or if they were gone forever. By 2015, after 2 years of investigation with no breakthroughs, the U.S. Embassy and Tanzanian authorities formally labeled Evan and Laura as presumed dead. Legally, they were gone. But emotionally, the families refused to let go. Every birthday, every holiday, every personal milestone became haunted by the unknown. It was a grief that had no ending, no peace, no closure. At this point, I need you to engage. Like this video if you're following this mystery. Subscribe to this channel for more and updates on this story. Comment below. Which theory makes the most sense so far, lion attack, poaching, or something else entirely? Your theories might just match the real answer we uncover. And then, 10 years later, the impossible happened. A ranger on patrol near the same restricted valley spotted something strange. It was partially hidden in the dirt, among bones and flattened grass. At first, he thought it was just trash. But as he moved closer, his stomach dropped. It was a camcorder. Blood-stained. Cracked. Dusted with mud. The exact kind of camcorder Evan had taken on the trip. For 10 years, it had survived in a place no human should ever reach. Everything changed the moment the memory card was pulled from the device. For the first time in a decade, evidence had returned. And this time, it would reveal details that no one expected. What the camera contained would rewrite everything we thought we knew about Evan and Laura's disappearance. It wasn't just a lost tourist tragedy anymore. It was a story of deception, danger, and shocking truth waiting to be uncovered. The camcorder had survived 10 years in the African wilderness, buried in mud and the shadow of a lion's den. Now, in Washington, D.C., FBI cyberforensics and wildlife investigators carefully examined every frame. The lab was silent except for the hum of the computers. For a decade, the story had been told a certain way. Lions attacked. Nature took its course. The couple vanished. But the footage told a different story entirely. The first clips were deceptively normal. Evan adjusting the camera in the Land Rover. Laura laughing as a herd of elephants crossed the plains. Golden sunlight illuminating the savannah. Birds fluttering in the distance. Their voices were full of life, hope, and excitement. The engine sputtered briefly. Evan got out to check it while filming Laura laughing in the golden morning light. For the first few minutes, it looked like a typical safari adventure. Then, the next sequence froze the investigators in disbelief. From behind a cluster of thorn bushes, 2 armed men appeared. They were silent. Professional. Carrying rifles and wearing tactical gear, blending into the wilderness. Evan's hand trembled as he tried to zoom in. Laura turned and froze mid-laugh. And then, almost calmly, Joseph Nkosi appeared on camera, speaking to the men with ease. No panic. No hesitation. A brief nod. A whispered instruction. The camera captured it all. This was not an accident. It became clear, frame by frame. Evan and Laura's disappearance was staged. The lion attack theory was a cover story. Joseph Nkosi had colluded with the armed men. The footage showed the couple being coerced toward a hidden vehicle, far away from any chance of escape. What investigators had assumed for 10 years, that the wilderness itself had claimed them, was a lie. Does this prove the guide was involved? Type yes or no in the comments. The recovered footage immediately shifted the investigation. The case was no longer considered an accident or wildlife tragedy. Joseph Nkosi was now a person of interest. International authorities reopened the file, questioning his past and connections. Analysts began scrutinizing the movements of the armed men in relation to known poaching and illegal tourism operations. What had seemed like a tragic misadventure in the African wild was now a calculated human conspiracy. Even more shocking was yet to come. As investigators dug into Joseph Nkosi's background, they discovered an unsettling pattern of disappearances, unexplained incidents, and connections to organized crime, stretching far beyond one couple. The camcorder's memory card had already shocked the world. But what it revealed next would rewrite everything once again. Investigators dug deeper into Joseph Nkosi's past, tracing him through years of safari work, local reports, and clandestine activity. What they uncovered was astonishing. Records suggested Joseph wasn't just a safari guide. He had been listed as an informant in wildlife trafficking cases. Reports hinted at illegal poaching networks he'd been monitoring. Locals whispered he had connections with armed groups moving ivory and other contraband. In short, Joseph knew exactly where danger lay, and he knew exactly how to manipulate it. Suddenly, the theory that Evan and Laura had been innocent tourists caught in a predator attack fell apart. As the footage progressed, audio captured details never visible on screen. Laura laughing moments before. Evan narrating their shots for the camera. Then their playful energy fades. The audio revealed screams. Evan. Help. Laura. Stay calm. Then silence. A single gunshot echoed. No video of the gun, only the echo bouncing through the savannah. The screen froze. The camera had been dropped, and the last frames captured dust, shadows, and the silent plains. When investigators examined the final audio file hidden on the memory card, a chilling whisper played, barely audible but unmistakable. "Don't trust the guide." It was Laura's voice. A desperate, terrified warning no one heard in time. By the time authorities reopened the investigation, Joseph Nkosi had disappeared entirely. No trace of him in Tanzania. No flights recorded. No bank activity. Locals claimed they hadn't seen him in months. It was as if he had vanished into thin air, just like the couple he had once guided. For the families of Evan and Laura, the discovery of the camcorder was both a relief and a horror. Relief that the truth was uncovered. Horror that the truth was worse than they had ever imagined. There were no arrests. No bodies. No justice. Only the footage, the whispers, and the knowledge that their loved ones were taken in a calculated, horrifying betrayal. Comment below where you're watching from. Share your personal theory. Was it Joseph acting alone? Was there a larger network involved? Hit like, subscribe, and share this video to follow more cases like this one. Because some mysteries demand to be remembered, and some truths refuse to rest. The plains of Tanzania remain silent. The guide? Never seen again. The world? Left with the chilling echo of the final whisper. Don't trust the guide. And for viewers like you, the story isn't over, it lives in every question, every theory, and every shadowed corner of the African wilderness.